All right. Hi, everybody. Brian Jones again here. It's a little bit after midnight, so technically it is March 27th, 2020. And this is the one I mentioned. I had to go recharge the battery. I better shut up and make this happen quick. But I wanted to show you, this is not the greatest example. This one's pretty growly sounding, but I certainly hear it through headphones. And I think I just wanted to just give you a glimpse of what I'm working with as far as what my audio oracle. And so this is from earlier this evening. I mean, yeah, I'm a little concerned about the situation with the money thing, but like I said, I'm not in this alone, and I'm not giving up yet. In fact, let's see, do I have my phone here? Yeah, I don't think it's going to ring tonight. I usually turn it off when I'm doing these videos, but okay, good. I've got a couple notes here. So I've got a system in the house, and I spent a lot of time. I mean, I've spent a lot of time doing experimentation, and I mean, I get some pretty profound things through. I've been able to get readings, so-called, or real personal information from elsewhere for other people. But anyway, tonight, I'm just contemplating the idea. I mean, in Washington State, which is where I live, I guess there's a pretty big crackdown. I mean, they're starting to ticket people that are out on the streets unless you're in an essential business line of work. And I mean, it's for a good purpose. I mean, I guess if you can, look, I'll admit, and I won't go into it, is that there are multiple theories about what could be going on along with this whole virus thing. And the people that I'm listening to, at least some of them, they're not denying that this virus is real, but there could be a whole lot more going on with it. I'm keeping tabs. I'm not saying anything about it. Reality really does leave a lot to the imagination, and I think I owe John Lennon a thanks for that comment or that quote. But anyway, I want to show you what earlier tonight I went and looked at jobs yesterday. I mean, I'm not giving up. I'm not sitting pretty right now at all, and I don't really I'm not sure that I want to submit to leaving things to chance or whatever, and I might end up having to. It's not all about pride. It's one of the things it's about for me is pushing the boundaries, and I have a possible aim for tomorrow. I do actually. I'll check the phone at the end of this and I'll tell you why in a minute. But anyway, so here's the comment. I reach out. I do. It's really cryptic, and I do think that it's on target. That you don't a lot of times get the answer. I've listened to a couple Christians, or at least one guy. He's definitely a self-proclaimed Christian. He goes a lot by the book, and other people too. Is the whole idea about faith is it's not like it's not like learning how to do some task. It's just a constant thing where you always have to keep testing your faith. There's no finish line there, and that has a ring of truth to it on multiple levels. But anyway, so I do like to check, because a lot of times these consultations I do through my device, you do have to rely on faith, but sometimes they're really pretty blunt, and I'm just putting this one on the record because, like I said, this is a little bit of a dicey situation. So I was asking the question, and I'm saying, hey, should I go for this job? It is way up the food chain, literally, of one of the essential jobs right now, and it's a really important one, and I think I'm going to aim for it because it's the only thing I have in front of me right now, and it may actually put out some fires that if I had my way about it, I would like to, even though it's tough, and it may be an absolute long shot to stay ahead of, in my case, right this moment, You know, you got to live right now, in the very now moment, and yeah, I've got a credit card payment I have to make, and if I miss it, it could really, I mean, it could really go against me. But then again, these are very extraordinary circumstances, and so we'll see what happens. But tomorrow morning, I'm going to get on this, and I'll get back to it. So anyway, that's the whole topic about. So this is the question I asked right here, and listen to it literally, and I'll explain what I mean.
If I'm going to be out in public right now, possibly getting infected and or spreading this virus, isn't that really a wrong move? I mean, I may do it anyway. I was thinking about it, but it looks like I'm winning, or I'm losing the battle of staying ahead of these payments right now, like so many other people are.
Well, anyway, when I said I may do it anyway, I wasn't talking about going out and getting a virus and spreading it around. I mean, we don't know. I mean, that's the whole point, is, from what I've gathered, is that you could be carrying this thing and not even know it. So that wasn't what I meant, like I might do it anyway. What I mean is I might go out there anyway, but I might as well jump into this right now. I've been carrying this around. This is out of my Enagic SD501 machine. This is what they call, I made a note here. I've been using this stuff. I mean, this stuff, I've been told that you use this and chase it with 11.5 to neutralize the effect. I've read, when I first got the machine, I mainly did it for my mom, did a bunch of weeks of research on it, and I've been drinking the water this machine produces too, but I've been told you can cure diseases in your eyes that are supposedly non-curable with this stuff, and I've experimented with it. It's pretty amazing. They call this electrolyzed oxidizing water and hypochlorous acid, and this machine was designed. It was created in Japan, and it's licensed as a medical device because of this right here, that it's capable of producing in Japan, and they clean all surfaces. And Lori, a lady that she's a distributor, I think that's the right word, and I've consulted with her. She's an engineer by trade, or at least was trained that way. And she sent me an article tonight that I think it's mandatory now in Japan that restaurants that are still open, they have to use this stuff. I think they must use it. I don't know if that's a legal mandate right now. It probably is. It ought to be. And they use this in the hospitals to kill the surfaces, or to sterilize all the surfaces. It is amazing stuff. I mean, you could spray. I mean, here's the thing I read tonight, is it's 10 times stronger than bleach for killing bacteria and I guess viruses too, but it's non-toxic. You can, I don't know how to drink this stuff, but you can spray it in your mouth and it'll kill bacteria, bad breath or whatever. Not that I ever have that, except when I do too much garlic, maybe, unless you like garlic. But anyway, that's a side note. But what I'm saying is I've been carrying this stuff around, and on a scale from 1 to 10 compared to other people that are out there, I've probably been a hell of a lot more cautious. I carry this stuff, I spray my hands, I'm aware of what I'm doing, and you've got to take some risks. But I'm going to know. Like I said, I think I'm going to aim for it. I don't even want to say what the business is, but I'm going to see about going for it, because I will say I will be actually shopping for groceries for people. It's an app on my phone, and I'm stumbling through it, but you know what? I've been stumbling through a lot of things, and I'm going to give it a shot, because if I can stumble on to knowing how to work it tomorrow, then I am going to. I'm going to check something real quick before I get back to the audio. Let's see here. Let me check the app on the phone. Let's see here. I think this is pretty important. This is up to the minute. Wait a minute. It's not doing much. Oh yeah, here we go. I guess it's loading. Let me check something. Yeah. Background check in progress. I'm still waiting. They said it takes about a day, so hopefully that'll be tomorrow. But like I said, if I'm out there doing it, and I'm open to things that happen, who knows? I mean, I got a bunch of car parts for sale. Maybe something will give, but I'm just saying, that people are, a lot of them are quaking in their houses, and they're afraid to go out. Maybe that's the best thing. I mean, the more people stay out of the mix, I don't know which way is up. I know about the Georgia Guidestones and all that stuff. And a lot of people, the new term I've been hearing is, with all this stuff going on multiple levels, and just the time of extremes we live in, keep your head on a swivel. Just make sure that thing's not too loose, okay? Anyway, all right, back to this now. So, you heard what I said there, but right here, this is how I do it, is that I ask these questions, and I've built this system and device and techniques and everything, and following my comment, you hear this jazz right here, right? Okay, so the first one, and it's a dual direction, and what I'm getting out of this one, and this stuff is kind of funny, you know. I mean, words come up, and I rely on this right here. Let's try this one here. I call her my Google girlfriend. She's pretty smart too. That's why. Well, I'll spare you that joke too. Okay, hang on a second. Check this out. Definition of the word pincher. Hey, wait a second. She must be on break. Oops. Hey, quit listening to me here. Hold on. What is a pincher?
According to Wiktionary, main page, pincher, a person or thing that pinches, as in squeezing, e.g. a miser or penny pincher. A person or thing that pinches, as in stealing, e.g. a thief or kleptomaniac.
Hey, now she's really getting smart. That wasn't it. All right, well, let's see. How does that fit? No, I don't think that fits. Anyway, that just really threw a wrench in the works for me. The other thing that came up, and the only thing that came up, was like a Doberman pincher, and they're noted as being like, boy, I sure wish I could find that. Come on, she's mad at me, I think. What is a pincher?
According to Wiktionary, main page.
All right.
Pincher.
Huh. I don't know, for some reason I was just thinking of a Beatles song. What is it? How's that go? God. You know. All right, never mind. Sorry. Did I tell you it was after midnight? I've had a long day, and I have worried a bit. I mean, it's a little taxing right now, right? But anyway, the Doberman pincher. Let's see if I can get that definition, because I was thinking that was what gave me a little bit of encouragement to think that, the noble traits of the dang dog. But hold on a sec here. I'll try this. Oh yeah, I guess I am a little tired right now, but let's see. What is a Doberman pincher? All right. I'm not going to get it, but the characteristics were about the guard. I don't know if it was a guard. I am tired, but anyway, okay, we'll leave the pincher thing alone, other than it's on here, and I don't think the miser thing really fits, but the one half of it, okay, let me see here. This one was, I mean, really, I'm kind of asking for a little bit of advice. I mean, what the heck? These are uncertain times, but like I said, this is a little growly sounding, but what I hear of it is, I'd keep going, you're our pincher. And that's why I said, the first time I asked the Google girl, about the pincher, that's what came up right away. It was about the Doberman pincher, and the traits that they have were I wish I could remember. There were two of them, and it kind of goes in line about the state I would be in if I'm out there. It's not just about me desperately grabbing for money. You know, I mean, if I could be out doing something wrong to do it, I wouldn't do it right now. I mean, and I don't think that, you know, like I said, I'm going to be careful with contamination, and I would think that, I always have had a, you know, amazingly, I've always had like people kind of trust me, you know, and I think I might be able to pinch on through on that one. I mean, in other words, I'd be doing a really good service right now. That is an essential job, and I, you know, I mean, I would be going out of my way to, I'd be meeting people. In fact, I got this app thing, and it may work out going forward from here, because I've got to do something. This thing threw the wrench in the works. I built something. It started as a thought 18 years ago, and I just built the official model of it, the working model. I've got videotapes. I documented it through the post office about 3 days ago, 2 copies of documentation. I got everything packed away, hidden away. It's a really big deal. It's a really good thing to bring into this world. So I'm just thinking I'm really close to being set for money. And then I got even better ones up my sleeve. But I've been living, financially, I've been living a pretty rough life. I mean, like I said, it's been so troublesome, because most of the, you know, it seems like the money thing is secondary to the underlying issue, and the underlying issue is really complicated. But I think it's coming around right now. So with all that being blathered on with, this one here I hear as, "I'd keep going, you're our pincher." And my initial thing about it was like, yeah, go for it. You're our pincher. And like I said, the dog thing came up, and those traits that were, the 2 traits were pointed out, are good values for this particular thing I'd be doing. And I'm not going to go back and try to figure out what they are, but that's what emerged. And one thing I've noticed from my experimentation with this level, in the last couple months, I started getting phrases with names, like names you'd hear of people that are, some of them are fairly common, some are not. And I would consult the Google girl and say, meaning of the name this. And every time that name would have a meaning, I was like, wow, I never knew that before. And it would fit the moment of what was coming through. It's just, like I said, this stuff, I mean, believe me, I was one of the guys, like if I heard somebody saying what I'm saying right now, they'd be, boy, this guy's really reaching. But I'm just saying that life's a mystery, and the way things are unfolding, they are evolving. And when it comes to like bringing stuff through like this, it's up to somebody like me to interpret it. And a lot of times, like especially if I'm doing it for somebody else, I can feel a different essence of it coming through. Like, oh, I can tell that wasn't meant for me. And when I've relayed things to other people, they tell me, wow, that was right on target for me. So, it's not something I'm not saying it as a matter of fact thing. That's what always bugged me about a lot of people. They seem really smug. And I'm not going to harp on it too much, other than there are a lot of people that claim to make a living as a psychic reader. And boy, I just, it's a turnoff for me, because they have that attitude, like all these things that are so complex and they act like, yeah, I got it pinned down matter of factly. That to me is a red flag. So the other, and it's along the line of a name. And for the last 10 years, I started, when I was doing these sessions, I would hear the name Matthew in so many different phrases over and over and over again. And my brother changed his birth name, or whatever you call it, to Matthew year, 25 years ago. God, was it? Maybe it's 35. You know how that goes. And I never really pinned him down why he really picked that name. But recently, after 10 years of hearing the name Matthew, and I knew it was a biblical name, but anyway, it's amazing. Like I said, this thing here. I mean, I do these recordings probably. I mean, I did multiple today because I'm really seeking answers, but most of the time I usually do a session right before I go to bed, and I'm listening to it. I got the phone right there because if something comes up, or it's a word even, not a name, but just a word, I talk to the Google girl. I say, hey, what is this? What does this mean? And it kind of fills in blanks, and it's right on there. I don't have to really stretch it out and like mix up multiple languages to get a sentence that I can say, now see, that makes sense. Anyway, I don't know if any of that makes sense right now. I am getting tired, so let me bring up this one here. And both, like I said, that one's a dual direction. This was the first one that came out right after I got done talking on that first sound file. And that's what typically happens. And that started way back in 1999 when I started shifting over. I think I started it in actually 98, but by 1999, 2 years into the reverse speech thing, seeing how they run like pigs from a gun, I started thinking, okay, fine, I'm gonna do this other thing, right? Because I thought if I could bring through voices that people couldn't pin down, and I had physical evidence of things, then I'd be hitting a home run, right? Ha ha. Right. Anyway, this one here, I hear the name Matthew again, and what I hear of it is, and like I said, these are kind of garbled, growly, and my energy's a little bit distracted right now, for good reason. But what I hear of this one is, think of Matthew, we have a hit. And by the way, if you can make that out, or even if you can't, like I said, I'm just laying this down. I am curious to see how this is going to play out, because that name Matthew kept coming around, and as I said, I finally was like, well, what is that? What does the name imply? What does it mean? And Matthew supposedly means gift from God, and it always seemed like it was pertaining to this kind of stuff that I'm doing, which I always aim. Look, if even right now when I really need money, if Satan came along and said, hey Brian, I got a deal for you, forget about it. I'm not doing it. I don't want any part of that. And I mean, I don't want material things that much. I mean, yeah, I want to hang on to my house. I got a lot going on here. I've got a shop. I've worked my butt off for it, in unique ways, shall we say. But I mean, I've got other inventions up my sleeve that will save lives. And even the one that I just made, that is about instantly eliminating suffering of many people in a very common industry. And I was one of them once. And so we'll see how this all plays out. But yeah, and the other name that I've been hearing for like 15 years probably. I think it started in 2006. What's the math on that? That's 14 years, give or take, close to 15. The name Kathy, right? Over and over again, I kept thinking, wow, I'm going to meet some lady named Kathy, and I did a few times, and but that's not that uncommon of a name. But I don't know if it's biblical or a meaning of the name Kathy. You know what it is? Kind of like purity, like of the soul or whatever. I don't know why that comes around. Anyway, I'm joking a little bit, but think about those two. They're very common. The purity and the gift from God. And I'll tell you something, when I started praying back in 1997 to be shown what I was doing, I really meant it. Those two things could really fit. And it isn't because I'm purely perfect by any means, but I was really aiming in a big way that where those two things do make sense. Anyway, here we are at 25 minutes right about now. I'm going to kill this thing. I'm going to wind it down. I am going to go watch another episode of Circle of Fear because, hey, I want to get in the right mood for some sweet dreams, right? So anyway, by the way, for those of you that didn't get the reference from yesterday when I said that, that's a television series from 1973. And last night I watched one, God, what was it called? Oh, Death's Head. And Janet Leigh of the original Psycho movie fame was in there. And it was surprising because she was looking pretty darn good, but she was not a very nice person. Anyway, all right, thanks for listening. I'm going to get out of here now. I'm going to go have lunch now. Over and out.